Game of the day. Azure Rain versus Esoxx. Lash versus Adder.
Welcome back to the channel, folks. Sammy Original Guy here, aka Mr. Cannon from Advance Wars by Web, bringing you another lively game of the day. So today, folks, we are on Memento. This is a base light matchup with two bases, airport and comm tower support. We have a tier 3 matchup here today, folks. Now in tier 3 on this map, I think Adder might be actually boosted up a tier. It's almost a shame we don't have Cole, though, folks. I feel like Cole, the Road Toad, the Road Toadian, would have a lot of fun on this map with the amount of roads. But we have Adder versus Lash here today. Azure Rain versus Esoxx as our players today. Now, when we take a look at this map, this is a very neat map mode, folks. I would say that maybe this might be considered your strong side, this might be considered your weak side, but because it's base light, all the bases tend to go into the same area. There's not really any dedicated strong front versus weak front on this map, but this map, I would say, you have the airport and you have the base would normally be going and attacking this comm tower region here, because the ultimate goal here would be for them to push over here and maybe be able to take the HQ after a certain amount of time. But considering that you have a very easy reinforcement range here with two bases, you could potentially put a stop to that, folks. But the problem with a strategy like that, with dedicating two bases to one side over here, is you allow this base over here to go up and willy-nilly and capture contested properties, folks. And you don't really want that to happen. You want this base to go over here, capture your airport, and then you launch an assault over here while you're launching a defense over here, and just trying to win that HQ before your opponent, folks. But there's definitely some potential for fighting in the middle. We can definitely see a fight happening right here, folks. So this is an interesting map. I haven't really seen too many games on this map, folks, but from what I have seen, I do see a lot of fighting around the comm tower, so I can probably assume that that's where we're going to be seeing the primary amount of fighting here. But without further ado, folks, let's go ahead and see what went down in the live league today. Starting off strong, folks. I know what else is a strong start to Advance Wars by Web. Standard infantry builds, because you gotta get the infantry on the field, folks. It is the #1 priority in Advance Wars by Web. #2 priority in Advance Wars by Web is making sure you like and subscribe to the channel for all that hot live league action, folks. Now, the player that submitted this to me has sent me multiple messages asking me what they thought, or what I thought of the game. So we're gonna just go over some of the things that I see in this game, and if I see anything that looks like it's blatantly crazy or amazingly good, we're gonna try to point them out here, folks. But so far we got some back caps going on. You know, I don't necessarily dislike back caps. I mean, if the properties are here right away, so you might as well go for them. But Lash, I would say especially, is one of those CEOs that sort of is really good with forward capping. You know, you can get over here, you can grab a property quickly, and if you can like stand on one of these two tiles here with Lash with the 130% firepower bonus that she would get, it'd be pretty good. You know, back capping is not really a make or break situation here though, so I think it's gonna be fine. It looks like both players are basically doing the exact same thing at the moment. So I mean, sometimes forward capping doesn't really work out for you either. You know, you end up losing a little bit of early income. You might potentially ruin your tank chains. So either way, but we have an early artillery over here from Azure Rain. It's not too shabby. If the artillery's purpose is to bust open this pipe seam so that you get a quicker reinforcement over here, I don't really mind it too much, because It is a 2-day reinforcement over here to assist the comm tower without breaking open the pipe seam. And if you have it busted open, it's a 1-day reinforcement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. So you know that's pretty not too shabby. Pretty not too shabby at all. Capping the airport now over here from purple, and Esoxx looks like they are going for the airport as well. Yes, they do have the airport captured here, which is looking pretty good. Now, Adder's air units are going to be absolutely critical in fighting Lash, because he's not going to be able to win the tank game against Lash. It's not something that's going to happen, folks. You got to get air units. If you get air units on the battle, especially on a map like this, you get an air unit over here, they force by an anti-air over here. You flip it over here, they force by an anti-air over here, or a battlecopter. But either way, Adders should, in theory, win the air war. And you know what? He's good. He's good with air units, folks. Build some air units as Adder. Number 3 priority in advances by web. We've got a tank over here from Azure. Rain now. And Esoxx busting open the pipe scene. He's got the old double attack here with the mech plus artillery combination here. So this guy is going to be bust open next turn, which is going to very quickly assist in reinforcing that comm tower. Now it looks like the comm tower is going to be captured uncontested here, so not too shabby at all. Now if Azure Rain wants to go and cap the comm tower, they are going to be running the risk of an interrupt here. So that is going to give Adder a little bit of a bonus here, a little 10% firepower bonus, where Lash might not be able to get that 10% firepower bonus. So we'll see how this one goes, folks, because it does look like Azure Rain has now busted the battlecopter. The battlecopter is on the field, ready to be deployed into combat at a moment's notice. Alright, let's see what else Esoxx decides to build here, because he's got 15,000 funds. I mean, in all reality, tank anti-air is probably the pretty good purchase. Battlecopter plus 2 infantry is also pretty good. Actually, let's say battlecopter plus recon and infantry might not even be too bad too, because the recon will be really good in harassing these infantry. I think recon is actually pretty decent on this map in general, considering the amount of roads. You get almost perfect movement out of it. But we got the battlecopter purchase over here, so the battlecopter is going to be able to immediately threaten the center over here, which is very nice. But if this battlecopter decides to go over here, this battlecopter goes over here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This entire area over here will be susceptible to battlecopter city over here. This battlecopter is going to be able to run amok over there for a short while. Now, if this guy decides to go over here, though, it's the exact same scenario, but on opposite sides. And the battlecopter is going to go in the center of the map, so that's going to actually prevent a lot of movement from this battlecopter. It's not really going to be able to go too far, but we'll see. We'll see what they decide to do here. Alright, Esoxx, what do we got? We got a capture, 15,000 income per turn now. That's pretty far away for the battlecopter to go. I would probably like to see the battlecopter stay a little bit closer to the middle, like maybe like right here, or wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, like either right here or right on this property here, I think would probably be the better of the options, because then it would be at least able to front shift over here if need be. But right now, that's just opening up a lot of attacks that this battlecopter can do. Now, if Esoxx decides to buy another battlecopter, it's not too bad. So let's see what he decides to do here before we go talking out of our mouths with words. Alright, another battlecopter. Okay, so that battlecopter covers this right here. There is an open spot right here for an attack, but you don't want to go and do an attack like that, because all that's going to happen there is your battlecopter is going to get trapped by infantry and then you're going to lose it. But there is a free shot right here, so battlecopter goes right over here, attacks right here. And yeah, you're having a pretty good time at that point, folks, because there might even be potential for a 2-shot here. And if you get the 2-shot, then you do get a first strike on a tank. However, you do eat a mech shot right afterwards, so maybe not the most advisable attack, but sending the battlecopter over here Yeah, I guess that's fine. So the battlecopter protects this infantry right here now. But we really need an anti-air over here more than anything else. Like, I would almost prefer just to, like, let him go up and attack that and keep the battlecopter over here. Because you get to attack this infantry over here with a battlecopter. Then you build an anti-air, and he's down here in 2 turns. The battlecopter's not really going to be able to do too much over here, but I don't know. Some people might disagree with me. Some people might agree with me. Some people might just be here for the medium tanks, folks. And hopefully we're going to be seeing some of them. I do enjoy a quality medium tank. But this over here, the battlecopter movement right over here, does not prevent this attack right here. So a little bit of coverage would have been pretty good. But that is a free dude, so that guy is gone. This guy could potentially be gone next turn too, though. So, I mean, all in all, not really too bad. But then these guys just managed to go up and threaten these 2 properties. And now we don't really have a whole lot of response. There is like a 2-shot from like 2 infantry here, but we don't have that 120% firepower threshold on the roads in order to acquire the 2-hit combination. So this is kind of not really going to work out. I think Azure Rain's definitely got to be doing something over here because it's looking a little bit rough, but also got a really good foothold over here, right? And it's about to capture the comm tower, got a property, automatically builds a battlecopter like instantly. It's like, yeah, no, we're getting a battlecopter. We're getting the battlecopters on the field over here, folks. It's the number 4 priority in advances by web. Get yourself some battlecopters. Alright, it's not too bad. That is fine. If this battlecopter moves in and takes this, that's going to be the biggest overextension of 2025, and I would not recommend that one bit. Nice arty placement over here. Goes in for the interrupt over here, which is actually probably the safest spot to do it from, so I like that. I like that very much. Got 1, 2, 3, 4 units covering this infantry here too, which is very nice. Alright, got that captured. 17 properties by both players right now. If Esoxx doesn't go and interrupt this, that will put Azure Rain ahead. And that's a dangerous spot to be in. Alright, so he KOs the infantry instead of going for the interrupt. I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know. I like denying income. You know what? I think Poland does it the best when he's just like, you know, I don't like my opponent to have income. I'm going to deny it. I think we all need to just take a lesson out of the Book of Poland and interrupt opponent's income. Unless you're playing against me, let me have the income, please. Think. Alright. Carrying on with the match here. Day 11 over here from Azure Rain. Artillery gets a massive 140% firepower shot right there. Absolutely devastating. Battlecopter moving in. No tanks in this area. This tank is forced to front shift over here, but Azure Rain has a massive advantage right now because all she would have to do is move this tank and either put it right here or right here. Probably right here would be the better of the 2 options, but if he puts it over here, or if she puts it over here, then this guy can't shift into the middle. He would be forced to go down here. So let's see what they decide to do here. Alright, interrupts the capture of the property. Very nice. Busts out another battlecopter. Takes a strike at the infantry. Big damage. Big damage right there. Forms the great wall of infantry over here. That is a... That's actually not too bad. So this is a pretty good tactic here. You know, this allows for a first strike, but if he goes in and does the strike, he's going to get whomped with 1, 2, 3 battlecopters plus 1, 2, 3 tanks that are going to be full HP. And all he's going to do is injure this tank. So this is not a winning fight right now for Gray. Is Gray going to retreat and fight another day, or is he going to just full yeet into this scenario, folks? Alright, another infantry has been taken out. Nah, he recognizes the danger. He's not going to go up and do that attack. Smart. Very smart. I'm actually surprised that nobody's even close to a comm tower or a co-power right now. It's mostly just been infantry that have been taken out, right? Yeah, mostly just infantry, not a single vehicle. Alright, Azure also recognizes the danger over here. Can't really push into this area with this tank being right here, so pulls back a little bit. And the battlecopters are moving in because that is what you would refer to as some free dudes. Free dudes right there. It's a free hit. Now, it could potentially not be a free hit. The only way that it would not be a free hit is if Esoxx does enough damage to get a co-power, which is definitely possible. I don't know if they're going to go for it or not, though. Now, I think, like, we're just roughly 76,000 or 7,600 funds away from it. So, I mean, potentially battlecopter into battlecopter, plus like a few other engagements around the map, you might be able to get that. And then if this battlecopter goes into this battlecopter, then this anti-air goes into this right here, which might not be too bad. I mean, you lose a cop. It would be a copter for a copter trade, essentially, but then you would also injure this copter. Yeah, so we're going to see if this actually like works out in his favor or not. You know, I don't know if it's necessarily like the best move, but it's definitely a move. It's one of the moves of all time, folks. So let's see what happens here. Don't sacrifice the tank. It's unnecessary. Actually, it's highly unnecessary. What are we? We're 500. We're 500 away. Is there another attack? He could go in with this tank and take the engagement. And then that should get it. Or, alternatively, he could just use this 7 HP infantry and just sack it into this instead of losing the tank for it. Either way, we got a side slip. So, this is definitely going to be happening, folks. We're going to be seeing a big, fat, stompingly powerful anti-air strike over here. Goes in with the mech. Very nice. Not bad clear right there. Goes in for the capture, although with terrain tactics right around the corner here, this guy's not as safe as it seems. I don't really like putting this battlecopter all the way up. It's nice that we take a strike at this, but now we lose 2 battlecopters, whereas we could have only lost 1. And that's going to put Azure in a very interesting position here. Very interesting position. So this battlecopter is going to... Well, actually, this guy into this, and then this into this from right here. But then these guys might come over. I don't know. This could be a questionable situation here. So let's see how it plays out. Goes in for the attack. Double strikes a tank. Battlecopter is actually safe right here. It looks like you can attack, but you can't because Adder used the power. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, that's not going to happen. Goes in for the old luck roll. Puts battlecopter in range of anti-air, but injures a mech. So mech for battlecopter trade. Not super feeling that one, but is what it is. It would appear that Azure Rain is out of time here over on day 13. So time management, super important in Advanced by Web. Possibly the number 5 priority of live league play, folks, is you have to manage your time. Have to manage your time so well, because if you run out of time by day 13, well, you were just getting sweaty, folks. You were having the sweatiest game of your life. Esoxx now going up and capturing 2 properties here. Takes out the battlecopter. Brings it back. Brings the anti-air back as well. Alright, so I think Esoxx played this turn pretty good. He's threatening a couple caps here. Did a lot of damage up here. Azure Rain with the prime tactics will not be able to get like a super large amount of value out of it. However, if a luck roll is to occur on this infantry right here, there is a pretty big attack from the city. And then, yeah, I mean, that's possible. But maybe this tank to here and attack this, that's also a possibility. We'll see what happens. Prime Tactics has been activated, folks. Oh, go for the luck roll. This is nice, though. I mean, managing to take out the artillery, that is pretty big, but... Oh, there we go. Yeah, that was a nice attack. Nice attack. Big damage over here, folks. Big damage. All right, there we go. Nice. Not too shabby. But unfortunately, out of time. And looks like we only managed to do a few buys. Not like a whole lot of buys. Just a few. Weird. Alright, let's continue on here, folks. It is incredibly difficult to attack Lash when she's got her super. I mean, this is 6-star terrain. This is 4-star terrain, plus the 10% passive buff from the co-power in general. That makes this like 70% and this 50%. So yeah, it is very difficult to attack Lash in those on that super co-power turn, but it's not impossible. Not impossible, folks. Managed to do a few nice little attacks down here. This guy's sitting at 2. So there's definitely a force interrupt with at least 2 units over here, or that property is going to get flipped. This is unfortunate, so that tank is definitely doomed. This anti-air is definitely doomed. Moves the 3 HP and takes out the anti-air. That's actually not too bad of an attack. I mean, he kind of lose the anti-air a little bit, but damaging the artillery right here is very nice. Day 15. We got no moves. Is that it? It would appear like the game is over, folks. Looks like this is the last turn over here from Esoxx. Alright, so it moves up, takes the engagement against the tank, fires on the battlecopter, eliminates this, attacks that, goes in for a luck roll. Looks like it did succeed. But then resigns at this moment. Resigns at this moment. Still has 6 minutes on the clock. So he did a pretty respectable amount of damage over here, but 2 battlecopters, so these guys are going to be taken out next turn, because that's going to happen. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. This is still nice in the center, though. This can push over here or swing over here. I don't know. I think it might be a little bit of a premature resign, folks, but I think maybe the stress of losing this front over here could have possibly done it. But without any infantry over here to capitalize on it, you have a lot of time to recover. So, I don't know. Is what it is, folks. But, well played to... Oh, so Azure Rain is the one that... Azure Rain is the one that resigns here. So, I mean, this is like a pretty big attack over here, but it's not like a... I wouldn't say it's necessarily game-ending. 2 attacks right here, so these guys can be taken out. This guy can still be taken out. If you get terrain tactics next turn, you actually have a move over here where you can take this guy out with the anti-air. But maybe just the stress of losing a few units over here, and then... also the added stress of having no time. I think that's probably it, but I don't know. I don't think Azure Rain played too badly here. But time management is really, really the big one. But either way, hopefully you all enjoyed that one. And if you did, consider leaving a like, comment, or subscribe to the channel, folks. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care of yourselves, and bye-bye for now.